Rochester in 1995, 3 young schoolgirls were sexually assaulted brutally on their way to school in the morning. They were abducted on street corners at bus stops in the early morning hours in Rochester. We focused at that time on one suspect. I remember as a deputy chief in the police department at that time sitting in a room with investigators and talking about one suspect that they had in mind. I walked away convinced that was our person, but we chose not to make an arrest because we had DNA collected from the 3 victims. We waited for that DNA to be processed. Well, it came back a few weeks later. That person was not our suspect. So it gives you a sense of looking at a person that we think may have been guilty. That person was not. To make a long story short, the suspect in that case, his name is Keith Laster, was arrested in 1996 in Rochester for a lower-level misdemeanor drug offense. His DNA was not captured at that time. In 1997, a 13-year-old child was sexually assaulted by Keith Laster, and another schoolgirl rape on her way to school. And that investigation went unsolved until 2004, when Mr. Laster was arrested in the state of Alabama. His DNA was collected and connected him to the 4 sexual assaults of young schoolgirls in Rochester. The tough thing about it, if you brought that case up today, that 4th victim still would have been victimized because in the current process for collecting DNA evidence, the drug offense that Mr. Laster was convicted of would not have been DNA applicable.